I don't know why it keeps giving us copyright infringement. I didn't even say anything this time. It happened on Tuesday as well. But it is 7:01, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And if people are logging back in, they can join us as they get here. Welcome, I'm Amanda. I turned the computer around so we have a new view of our living room. We're going to start in a seat. I titled this class Yoga for Hippies. I can either be the hippie in your soul or your actual hips. So let's come to a seat first. Feel free to sit on a block. I like one long ways. You can put two down if you have them. You can sit on books. You can sit on the edge of your bed or a chair. Whatever feels good. So you can really get a lift through your spine, a lift through your lungs, and a lift through the crown of your head. And then spoon your hands. Place one hand into the other. So it's like one hand is spooning the other. And connect your thumbs. So you just have a little gentle point of contact of your hands. And let this bowl rest right in front of your pelvic bowl. And then close your eyes. And I've been loving this metaphor of the curtains at the front of your eyes. So you close the curtains at the front of your eyes to the outside world. And you open up the curtains in the back of your eyes to your inside world. You just start to roam around inside the wilderness of your inner landscape. And take a few moments to just be free with that imagery. Let your breath just breathe the way it wants to. And let your awareness travel around your body. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. Once more, inhale. And sigh it out. And then seal your lips and breathe in and out through your nose. And you can imagine each inhale is like fire rising up. The effort, the action of fire rising up. And each exhale is like water raining down, easy, receptive. And inhale, let the fire rise up from the planet all the way into the crown of your head. And then exhale, allow the water to rain down, and you can catch it in the bowl of your pelvis. You can catch it in the bowl of your hands, the cups of your hands. Then inhale, fire rising. And exhale, water descending. And keep playing with that metaphor of the effort rising and the grace descending. And you are in the middle. You are in the middle of the fire and the water. You are in the middle of the effort and the grace. Because you are in the middle, you are the mediator. You get to mediate how much fire, how much water, how much effort, how much grace. And it's a sliding scale, it's a spectrum. And throughout the day, throughout the weeks, you slide back and forth between the fire and the water, the heat and the cool. And once more, feel the fire rise up. And catch the water as it rains down. Good. And then you can blink your eyes open, reach your arms wide into a T, And then bend your elbows, put your fingers on top of your shoulders. And then lift your elbows up so they're as high as your armpits. So you almost have like a level across your elbows. And you're gonna keep that the whole time so that we really open up the armpits and open up the lungs. So we'll start with an inhale to the left and an exhale to the right. Inhale left, exhale right. And then speed it up, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And you can keep your eyes open if you like, and keep looking behind you each time you twist so your neck gets involved. In, out, in, left, out, right, in, out, in, out. And as you're twisting, you can imagine it's like you're twisting a wet rag and trying to wring all of the excess out and keep seeing behind you. So it's almost like you're really have 360 vision as you spin around yourself. In, out, in, out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, arms all the way up. Hook your thumbs, hold your breath. Take a sniff through your nose, sip through your mouth, and hold it in and up and bottle it up. Like you were a bottle of champagne full of bubbles. And then pop your cork, let it go. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. Good. And then again, we're gonna find similar breath, but change our arms to just open up the lungs in different ways. So you're gonna interlace your fingers, and then take the basket of your hands to the back of your head. And then for this one, you wanna squeeze your elbows toward one another the whole time so that we really keep this like pit in the armpit so we could catch a ball from the universe. And then you're gonna lift your elbows up. And now it's inhale right, exhale left. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And you might notice with your arms like this, you can go a little faster. And it's similar to if you think about how a bicycle wheel spins around. When you're at the furthest circumference, the rubbery tire, those parts seem to move slower than when you're really near the spokes and the very, very center of the wheel, the axle. Those parts seem to be spinning really, really fast. So you might feel like you're going even faster here. And it's like we're pressing buttons on all these different settings in our blender. So we have lots of different tools to access to manipulate our breath. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, reach your elbows up, up, up. Hold it and take an extra sniff. Take an extra sip. Bottle it up. Feel your bubbles. And then pop your cork, let it go. Hands to your lap. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. And then blink your eyes back open, reach your arms to the sky. You're gonna turn your palms to face away from one another, and then crisscross your wrists and connect your palms. Doesn't matter which one's in front, we're gonna do both. So now we're even higher up. We've become more concentrated into the midline, so maybe we can move even faster. You can think of this bandha, this mudra above your head as an antenna, sending signals, receiving signals out in the world. And so we'll start in, left, out, right. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Hold it in. Take a sniff. Take a sip. Bottle it up. And pop your cork. Let it go. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then last one. Arms up. Put your palms. Put the other palm in front. And then reach up through your antenna, send out your signals, be receptive, and then we'll inhale right, exhale left. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Extra sniff, extra sip. Bottle it up. Pop your cork, let it go. Spoon your hands again, connect your thumbs, and take a few moments here to let that settle. To let all the effervescence start to calm down. And then blink your eyes open, and we'll come into tabletop on our mats. Stack your shoulders right over your wrists, your hips right over your knees, and really untuck your toes and find the tops of your feet, all of your toenails. And then just to be a little more formal, we'll find a measure. Turn your fingers to face one another, and then slide your hands together till just the very, very tip of your middle finger touches. That's your shoulders distance, your perfect proportions. From there, you can spin your fingers back to face forward. And then on your inhale, round your back like cat pose. And on your exhale, reach forward for cow. And inhale, round your back. And exhale, forward into cow. Do that a few more times. Undulating through your spine, feel how it feels to move all the way up through every vertebrae. Twice more. Okay, and you're going to take your left leg out to the left. So your left leg is straight, your right knee is still in tabletop. And you're going to start to make some circles with your hip. Your left knee will bend, and you keep looking forward so that it's not really about like seeing what's happening. It's about experiencing and feeling what's happening. Feeling it with all your senses, your insides. You can switch direction. And then come back to center. You're gonna walk your hands up so you're standing on your right shin and your left leg is still straight. And then you're gonna turn your left toes all the way up to the sky. So this might require a bend in your left knee. Bring your hands to your hips and press your right hip forward. So we take the hinge out of that hip crease and get a little stretch across the front. And then bring your left hand to your left knee. And rather than putting weight on the knee, bend the knee up into the hand and reach your right arm overhead. So it's more about this right leg. Bend your left knee up, flex your left foot, press your right hip forward, and root into all of your toenails. You're gonna take one more breath here, nice and long across the side. And then exhale, come back up. Bring your hands back to the ground. Turn your right toes over to the left, and then cross your left knee behind your right knee, and then widen your feet. All right, we're gonna come up onto our fingertips for this one. And if you have a block, you can put it in front of your right thigh so that you know to keep touching it. It's just like a point of contact that helps you stay a little more measured. So I'm going to keep touching this block with my right thigh and not knock it over, and then start to stir your hips in a clockwise direction. Okay, so it's really actually pretty small movements. The legs are pretty still, and the hips are swirling, and as a result, your torso might start to swirl around as well. But really make it about the hips and not about the legs. Keep squeezing your left leg into your right leg to keep them stable. And then root down through not just your left knee, but your right knee too. And then try to find all of your toenails so you really become embodied with every pose. Okay, keep stirring it up for 3, 2, and 1. Press pause, come back to your palms. You can slide that block out of the way. You're gonna slide your left leg back. Now take your right toes all the way over to the left and open it up into a side plank with your knee down. And then same thing here, press the hip forward. Unfold that right hip crease. Maybe look up under your left arm at the ceiling. Turn your left palm toward the ground. One more breath here. And then release your hands to the ground. Come back to your hands and knees. All right, this time you're going to take your right leg over to the right and then start to make those big circles through your hip. And keep looking forward, so it really is about the hips. All your attention is down there from inside, your neurology, your imagination, all in your hips. Switch the direction. And then come back to center. Gonna walk up so you're standing on the left shin. Turn the right foot up to the sky and then press the left hip forward. You can slide your right hand under your knee and bend your knee up into your hand. So your legs are actually really working now. And then reach your left arm up and over and breathe from the front of your left hip all the way up your left side. Good, and then from here, rise up. Put your hands back on the ground. Turn your left toes to the right, and then cross your right knee behind your left. So you can repeat this on your fingertips. If you want to try a little different, you can flip your palms to face backwards, but make sure your hands are as wide as your shoulders. You have a frame instead of a funnel. And then look forward, maybe put that block in front of your thighs again so you know to keep them sturdy. And now you start the counter revolution. Counterclockwise. It's a metaphor. The counterclockwise motion is this personal spin. So clockwise is the spin of the planet, it's the spin of time. The counterclockwise is your personal spin, it's against the grain. It's the spin that breaks things down, dissolves things. Keep spinning, keep warming up the hips. Strong bolted legs, as much weight in the left knee as the right knee. Good, and then come to stillness. Flip your palms forward if they were backward. Plant your palms if they were lifted. You're gonna slide your right leg back. Spin your left toes now all the way over to the right, or to the left. And then spin on the sole of your right foot and reach your right arm up and over your ear. If you're in side plank, root down through the sole of your right foot. Press your hips forward and open up across the front of your hips. Especially if you've been sitting, work from homing. Let this unkink your hose. And then put your hand back down. Come back to tabletop, and then tuck your toes and come back to plank pose. And in your plank pose, find the stacking, shoulders over your wrists, the heels over the balls of your feet so your legs are buoyant. You can even lift your inner thighs up an inch, draw your navel in and up, and widen your collarbones. You're going to take one more breath, and then lower all the way to the ground. And keep your hands here and pull yourself forward into cobra. Really reach your heart forward and your elbows back. And then exhale, lower it all the way down. And twice more. Inhale, pull it forward. Exhale, lower it down. Once more, elbows back, heart, sternum forward. Exhale, lower it down. And then your choice, press to table or plank, and then back to downward facing dog. And then in your down dog, the same thing, we find a measure so that we make this pose formal and we move within the boundaries. So you can come back to plank pose to make sure you're stacked, heels over balls, shoulders over wrists, and then from there, lift your hips up and back and bend your knees. So we take it out of the hamstring so that we can really find the crescendo through your spine. Reach up to your sit bones, and then can you root down through the big toe mounds of your feet, and then spread out through your outer heels. Can you root down through the left foot and spread out through your right sit bone? Through your right foot and spread out through your left sit bone. So you feel that widening across your sacrum, the back of your pelvis. And then look forward and step or float your feet to the top of the mat. And inhale, lengthen, reach your heart forward. Then exhale, fold. Do that twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Once more, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise all the way to stand, arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back to plank and separate your feet. Drop your heels to the right. Keep both hands on the ground. And then come back to center, drop your heels to the left. Inhale, center, exhale, right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. Keep it going. About 4 more pair. Keeping your hips pretty high and feeling the work in your oblique muscles, your transverse abdominal muscles. And once more to the right, and then to the left, and then come back to center, take a full breath in, and exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes, pull yourself through, crack it open, and then exhale, lower it down. Good, twice more. Pull your elbows back, heart forward, toenails down. Exhale, lower. Good, once more. Strong arms, open heart. Exhale, lower it down. Again, press up to table or plank, and then back to a dog with your knees bent. So even with your knees bent, we can still feel a stretch in the hamstrings, but by moving across a joint in 2 directions. So you feel almost like put your mind in the middle of your hamstring and feel that you could lift up to your sit bones and down to your knees. And take a few breaths into the belly of your hamstring as if they were your lungs. They're almost the same size. And then look forward Again, step or float your feet up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Big breath, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Let your hands step it back to plank with your wide feet again. And this time we'll add on. Drop your heels to the right. Sweep your left arm down, around, and up over your head. Lift your heart up. And then plant your hands back to plank. Heels to the left. Sweep your right arm down, around, and up. Back to plank. You keep that going. Twice more on each side. Last one, left arm up and over. Come back to plank pose, take a full breath in. Exhale all the way to your belly. And inhale, pull yourself through to cobra. If you want to keep going, keep pulling your elbows back as you start to straighten your arms. And then exhale, lower it all the way down. Twice more, elbows back, heart forward, elbows back as you straighten. Exhale, lower. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Table or plank, back to dog. Feel the opening across your hamstring, up toward your sit bones, down toward your knees. Feel the opening across your calves, up toward your knees, down toward your heels. And by opening up the legs like this, we can really get into the hips. Feel from your feet, left foot out through the right sit bone, and right foot out through the left sit bone. And look forward, step or float your feet up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Big breath, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank. Get side plank on your right. You can stagger or stack your legs. Reach your left arm all the way up overhead. Push your right hip up into your left hip to give the side a stretch. And then come back to plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, or all the way to your belly. Inhale to your cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take 3 deep breaths here and really feel the widening through your hips as you root down through the feet. Feel like you can really spread your heels of your feet and the heels of your butt, your sit bones, apart. And look forward, step or float it up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Big breath, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last one like this, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank. Get side plank on your left. Roll to the pinky side of your left or keep it staggered. Reach your right arm up over your ear. Lift your left hip up into your right hip. You are lengthening your right leg. Get back to plank pose. Take a breath in. Exhale, chaturanga or to your belly. And inhale, open it up. Cobra, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And find your breath in and out through your nose. Breathe from the center of your hamstring up into your hips, down into your knees. From the opposite foot to opposite hip, widen. Feel the corners of your frame. And then look forward and step or hop your feet up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Big breath, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And reach your arms to the sky. Sit down in a chair pose. And then in your chair pose, shift your weight over into your right foot and hover your left foot. Widen your right sit bone and root through your right big toe mound. And then switch, shift the weight over into your left foot, hover your right foot, and then widen your left sit bone and root down to your left big toe mound. And come back to both feet. Feel both feet, big toe mounds rooting down as you pull both sit bones wide. Take another breath in. Can you lift your heart a little higher? And then exhale, fold in half. And inhale, lengthen your spine. And then plant your hands, step it back to down dog. And then if you have blocks, you can put your hands on them. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. It just makes it easier, so you'll just get a little more workout. So from your blocks, under your hands if you have them, bend your knees, reach your hips up. And then look to your hands and lunge your right foot outside of your right hand. And then step it back to a dog. And then lunge your left foot outside and step it back to a dog. And then keep that going. In as you lunge, out into dog. Into lunge, out to dog. Okay, next time your right foot is forward, keep it there. Move your blocks out of the way. And find a nice long lunge. Stay high on the ball of your back foot. Lift your left thigh up. And then again, find your two sit bones wide. Stretch your heart forward. Stretch your torso across your thigh. And then from here, you're going to step your left foot wide into yogi squat. Up to the top and sit down. Press your elbows out. Reach your heart forward. And then if you need to, lift your hips up. It's going to give you a little bit more freedom in your spine. Okay, one more breath. And then fold in half. Turn your toes in, grab opposite elbows. Let yourself sway. Feel the weight shifting between your feet. And then release your hands. Toe heel your feet back together. And inhale, come back into chair pose. And so from here, we're going to add on a little bit. So you're going to hover your right foot. You're going to take your right leg, crisscross behind your left. And then open your arms wide. Lower your torso so you're in like a tabletop and you have wide wings. And you should feel this in your left hip. Tack your left hip back and root through your left big toe mound. And then from here, stand all the way up, both feet together, arms to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart. Hug your right knee into your belly. You're going to hook your right ankle over your left thigh and sit back. Find a place to rest your eyes. And then come back to stand, arms up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale to lengthen. And then come back to your down dog. If you're using blocks, put them back under your hands. And then again, we'll start with the left. Left foot forward outside your left hand. And then back to a dog, bend your knees. Right foot and left foot. Good, keep it going. And really let your knees bend in your dog so it's like a pump that can spring you forward. One more to the right, and then land on the left. Move those blocks out of the way, and widen your hands. Stay high on the ball of your back foot. Root down through the right big toe mound and widen your right sit bone. Good, from here, yogi squat. Right foot wide, lower it down. Flick your tail, lift your chest, widen your collarbones. Good, and then come back into your forward fold, your ragdoll with your feet wide. Give yourself a sway. And then release your hands, toe heel your feet back together. Bend your knees, sit down into chair pose. And we're gonna pick up your left foot. Sweep your left leg behind and across your right. And widen your hands, widen your collarbones, find a back bend. Lower so you touch your belly to your thigh. Tack your right hip back. And then stand back up, both feet together, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hug your left knee to your belly. And then hook your left ankle over your right thigh and sit it down. And really think that you're sitting back with both of your sit bones. Flex your left foot. Widen your sacrum, your pelvis, left to right. And then both feet down, reach your arms up, take a breath in. Exhale, fold in half. And inhale, lengthen. And plant your hands, step back to down dog. Again, if you have the blocks, you can put them under your hands. We're gonna change it up just a little, add on a little bit. So from here, lunge your right foot outside of your right hand. Reach your right arm up to the sky, and then start to straighten your right leg, just as much as a little bit. And then plant your right hand, come back to down dog. Step your left foot forward, open your left arm, and then straighten your left leg as much as it'll go. Plant your hand back to dog. And then that's the move. Right foot forward, open your arm and straighten. Plant your hand, down dog. Left foot forward, open left arm and straighten. Plant your hand, down dog. And keep that going. We'll do one more on each side. Good, and lunge your right foot forward. Widen your hands again to 10 and 2. Good, and then from here we'll find a twist. So you can take your left arm across your left leg. Make prayer hands or a fist. Split your arms. If you need to lower your back leg, you can lower your back knee. Whichever variation you're in, can you flick your tail up and widen your sit bones left to right. And then lean back so you're really on a spit from your pelvic floor out the crown of your head. And one more breath. And then release your hands to the ground and straighten-ish your right leg. Remember, it's a process. As you root down through the right big toe mound, you reach up and back through the right sit bone. Stay high on the ball of your left foot. Lift your left heel as high as you can. And then again, look forward and back to yogi squat. Bend your knees, sit it down, flick your tail, lift your chest. And then from here, we're gonna ride the elevator up. Push into your feet, stand all the way up, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart, toe heel your feet together. Good, this time reach your arms up. Rise to your tippy toes. Hug your inner ankles in, your low belly in. And from here, diver's pose. Sweep your arms back, your heart forward. Stay on the balls of your feet. Inhale, chair. Exhale, sweep your right leg behind, crisscross, open your arms. And inhale, back to stand, both feet together, arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, sit it down. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. And put your foot down, rise up, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. And from your down dog, we start with the left foot forward. Left arm up, left leg straight. Plant your hands back to dog. Right foot forward, right arm up, right leg straight. Plant your hands back to dog. Good, twice more. Left foot forward, left arm up, left leg straight. Over to the right, right arm up, right leg straight. Back to your dog, and then lunge your left foot forward. Widen your hands. Okay, find the measure of your lunge, and then we'll take it into that twist. Right arm across, near your knee. Armpit near your knee, so your spine stays as long as it can. Make a fist, make prayer hands, split your arms. Stay buoyant in that back thigh. If you need to lower the knee, do that. And can you find the flick of your tail up? Feel the widening across your sacrum. Okay, release your hands to the ground. Reframe your left leg and then start that process. Root the left big toe mound down as you reach up, 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 and back through the left sit bone. Don't worry about achieving straightness. We want to keep the joints full of currency, able to transmit currency. When we lock out the leg, it's like putting a clamp on the wire, stopping it from transmitting currency. Keep a little bend and feel the work, forward and back, up and down, left and right through your sit bones. And then step your right foot wide, back into your yogi squat. From your yogi squat, ride the elevator all the way up, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart, step your feet together. Okay, I'm just gonna move off the mat so I have some space, the plants are in the way. Back to chair pose, reach your arms up. Oh, don't do that. Come back to your tippy toes and reach your arms up. Feel your inner ankles hug in. Your low belly hug in. And then dive it forward. Stay on the balls of your feet, but bend your knees, hinge at your hips, open up across your chest. And then lower into chair. And then we'll sweep the left leg crisscross behind the right, nice and wide. And then stand all the way up, both arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hug your left knee into your belly. Hook your left ankle over your right thigh and sit it down. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. And then inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, fold in half. And inhale to lengthen your spine. And then plant your hands, step it back to plank, back to down dog. You can vinyasa and make your way all the way to down dog. All right, and then from your downward facing dog, let's lunge your right foot forward outside of your right hand. Spin your left heel to the ground so that your toes still face 45 degrees forward. So your left heel is the furthest point of your boat. Your body was a boat. And then plant your right hand right inside your foot so your whole arm touches your leg, your shoulder touches your knee, your whole torso touches your thigh. You have all these fits. And then use your right knee to squeeze into your right shoulder. Feel what happens in that hip joint when you do that. Widen your left sit bone over to the left. And then start to turn open for side angle pose. Feel that integrity in your hips. Really working the right leg in, the knee in, left hip around. And then from here, we'll move to triangle pose. So you can stay just like this, come onto your fingertips and maybe turn your palm forward. And then it's that journey, that process of straightening. Right foot down and forward, right hip up and back. Maybe your forearm touches your shin, or your elbow touches your shin or your knee. Keep that length through both sides of your waist. Turn around yourself. And bring your left hand to your hip. Your right hand can come to the ground in front of your right foot or a block for balancing half moon. You can even put your hand on a wall or lean up against a wall if you have one there and it feels good. Flex your left foot strong, opening up through the left hip, front of the left hip. Every pose opens up some part of your hip. Front, back, side, in, out. All right, so we're going to transition down nice and easy. So first, put a bend in your right knee. So it's easier to roll toward the ground with your torso and put your left hand down. And then put your left foot next to your right foot. Inhale, chair pose. Rise all the way up to your tippy toes. Diver's pose, dive it forward. Inhale, back to chair. And then sweep your right leg crisscross behind you, widen your hands. And then come back to standing, both feet together, arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart, hug your right knee into your belly. Hook your right ankle over your left thigh and sit down. Good, so you can stay right here. If you want to go a little further or you want some support, hold onto a wall, hold onto blocks, hold onto your couch, your bed. You want to go a little further, you can fold in half, connect your belly to your left thigh. And then two options here. You could either come into the arm balance, hook your right foot around your left tricep, your right knee on your right tricep, and then you shift forward, shifting the weight forward to pick up your left foot. And then maybe you reach that left leg back. You can try that, play with that a few times. Or if you want to take a twist, right arm across your right leg, right foot, sorry, right arm across your right foot, reach your left arm up. And then from there, we'll rise all the way up, put both feet down, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale to lengthen. And then plant your hands, step it back to plank. Feel free to lower through chaturanga into a back bend. Open up the front of those hips. Draw that creasing. And then back to downward facing. And find your breath. And then you can lunge your left foot outside of your left hand. Spin your right heel to the ground. Okay, keep this connection. Contact is information. The more contact you have, the more information you can exchange, the more informed you can get. Okay, squeeze your left knee into your left shoulder. And use that to help you wrap your right hip around and turn your torso, your spine. And you start to turn yourself around the spit, from your tail, or really your perineum, out through the crown of your head. And you can come onto your fingertips, left fingertips, maybe flip your palm, and then start that journey of straightening. Left big toe mound down, left hip crease up and back. Connect your left arm to your left leg, forearm to shin or knee, and then keep lengthening the left side. Wrap your right hip around and turn your torso. And bring your right hand to your hip. Bend your left knee, reach your left hand forward of your left foot for balancing half moon. Flex your right foot. Good. You can keep a bend in your left knee too, so you really stabilize around the whole leg and feel big toe mound, pinky toe mound, inner heel, outer heel, really like calibrating. And then to come down, bend your left knee a lot. Roll your torso toward the ground, hand to the ground, and then step your right foot next to your left foot. Inhale to chair pose. All the way to stand, come under your tippy toes. Exhale, diver's pose, dive it forward. Inhale, back to chair. And then sweep your left leg crisscross behind you. Inhale, back to stand, arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hug your left knee into your belly. Good, from there you can hook your ankle over your thigh again. Bend your knees, sit your booty back. And you can stay like this, balancing. You can bring your hands to blocks or to a wall or your bed. You can fold and find the fit of yourself. Or balance, you plant your hands with your left foot over your right leg. Look forward to counter the balance, lift your right leg up, maybe back. Or twist your left arm across your left foot. It can be prayer hands, it can be split hands. And then rise all the way back up, both feet to the ground, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. Vinyasa or skip it, and we'll meet in downward facing. All right, from your downward facing dog, we're gonna come into lizard pose. So before we do that, reach your right leg up to the sky. Stack your hip and bend your knee and start to make a few circles with your right hip. Just feel into what you've done so far. Switch direction. And then reach your right leg up and step your right foot again outside of your hand. Good, so for this one, I like to use blocks. One block at its lowest height, one block at its highest height, under the left thigh, and then your hands plant like they're in plank pose, under your shoulders, inside your right knee. And then you squeeze your right knee into your arm, and then try to find cow pose. Try to flick your tail, find a back bend. So it's easy with the blocks. It's harder if you don't have the blocks, but you keep fighting for it. You could also do this on a chair if you wanted to, with the leg up. Feels really good. If you have a chair, or bed, or a couch, you can do that too. The whole point of any of those options is to keep your hips level while you open up and kind of get into the junk in your trunk. And take a few more breaths. And then if you have the blocks or that chair, you can move them out the way. Lower your left knee all the way to the ground. Okay. And then you can toe heel your right foot over to the right and turn the toes out. But keep this leg sturdy, like don't roll out into the pinky edge. Keep it sturdy and then walk your hands over to the left, maybe over to your forearms to the left. So you're creating this nice big space between hip crease and armpit. And then walk your hands back in. Toe heel your right foot over to the right for pigeon pose. And so if you need props, you can slide blankets under your hips so that you get a little lift. Don't worry about having your knee at 90 degrees. Let's focus more on the hips being level. So you can put blocks under your hips, blankets, pillows. And then walk your hands forward. Flatten your palms. Push your palms forward and hug your inner legs toward one another. And then walk your palms further forward, push them forward, and hug your inner legs toward one another. Roll your left outer thigh down. Do that once more. Hands even further forward. Press down through your palms, hug your inner legs in, and then drape yourself all the way down. This is no bueno. Lay on your back, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Or just sit up and cross your right ankle over your left thigh and flex your feet. So you're welcome to stay like this. If you like to take it into a twist, you're gonna lift yourself up on your forearms. Walk your left elbow in front of your right knee. It can be like inches in front, but directly in front. Make a fist with your left hand and put your right palm on it. You might even lay all the way down onto that left upper arm and then turn your torso. And as you turn your torso, can you reach back through your right sit bone? It's a lot of effort, but can you try to pull that right sit bone back as you turn your torso? So that's the effort of keeping your hips level. And then unwind your twist. Walk your hands back in. And then you can press it up and back to downward facing and move it all around, however it feels good. Okay, and then we'll lift the left leg up. Stack your hip, bend your knee, lift your right armpit up, and start to make some circles through that hip joint. And then switch the direction. Reach your left leg up. Step your left foot outside your left hand. And then again, we'll find lizard pose, so feel free to use the blocks under your right thigh. One at the lowest height, one at the highest height at an angle. Plant your hands inside your foot. And even if you're not using the blocks, it's still the same architecture. The block's like a scaffold of a building. But eventually the building doesn't need the scaffold anymore. It can stand alone. I just like it because it's very informative. So you can push down into your hands. Push down through the ball of your right foot. Fire up your right thigh. Flick your tail like you're finding cow pose. And you might realize you're not really using the blocks. You're holding them in place. And then you don't need them anymore. But you know where your hips are in space. And keep breathing. Keep hugging the left knee in, but widening your sit bones. And again, if you want to slide onto a chair or your couch, and it's the same principle. Left leg knee is still at 90. You can bend the right knee, that's a little deeper. Keep it straight. And keep cow posing your whole spine. Flick your tail. All right, and then from your lizard pose, move the blocks, move the chair. Come all the way down onto your right knee. Toe heel your left foot over to the left and out. And you can see now from this angle, my knee is right over my ankle. And I'm gonna keep it there the whole time. It's work in the glutes and all those rotators. And then walk your hands over to the right, maybe under your forearms, and you keep working. Keep this shin as a pillar. And then back under your hands. Toe heel your left foot all the way over to the right. Setting yourself up for pigeon pose. Grab blocks, grab blankets, pillows, couch cushions. Put them under your perineum, under both hips. The left hip, the back of the left hip, the front of the right hip. And then walk your hands forward. Put your palms down. And as you press your palms down, hug your inner legs together. And what that's doing is bringing your hips back to level, because they have to level in a few directions. Walk your hands forward again. Push them forward as you hug your inner legs together. And once more, forward. Push your hands forward, hug your inner legs together. Bring your outer hips down, outer thighs down. And then drape yourself to the ground or come onto your back or sit with your left ankle over your right thigh. Again, if you want to take this into a twist, you can take your right elbow or forearm to the ground in front of your left knee. Make a fist with your right hand, cap it with your left hand, and as you twist, reach your left hip back. So you're getting length through the left side. It's a fight. You have to fight for it. One more breath. And then walk your hands back in. Once more, press yourself back to down dog and move it around however you need to. And then to find some symmetry, we'll step the feet back outside of your hands, back into yogi squat. And so from here, you're going to take your hands to the ground just so you can have some balance. Bend your right knee down to the ground in front of you. Your right toes are tucked and you're sitting on your right heel, getting the foot to stretch. And then turn your left toes out to the left knee right over your ankle. And you're going to put your left shoulder inside of your knee, reach your arm away, and reach your right arm over your ear. It's like a half yogi squat, half side angle pose. And if you want, you can bind around your left leg, or maybe just a half bind. And then let that go. We'll come back to center, back to yogi squat. And bring your hands to the ground. Left knee to the ground. Stay tucked under those toes. Turn your right toes out so you have this plumb line right through the right knee into the heel. And then bring your right shoulder inside the knee. Widen your hand as far as it'll reach. And reach your left arm over your ear. And then use that knee as a boundary. Hold the ground and turn around it. And stay like that. Find your half bind or your full bind. Open up across your chest. And release your bind. Once more, come back to yogi squat. And then from here, you're going to find the same pose on your back. Sit down, roll all the way back into happy baby pose. Hooray. And feel free to move around how it feels good here. Straightening one leg as you bend the other. And can you play around with keeping both hip bones on the ground as you straighten your legs? So you feel what neutral, not really neutral, but what level feels like. And maybe reach both legs wide. And then hug your knees back in. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then reach your legs straight up. Feel free to slide a block under your hips for legs up the wall, or lift your hips and put your hands palms face down under your hips, just so you have something. You can use a pillow. We're just gonna find some movements through our feet here. So first you can start to roll your ankles in one direction. And then roll your ankles in the other direction. And then let your ankles go. Give your legs a little shake just for a sec. And then come to stillness. And then start to wiggle your toes really slow, like you were playing a nice slow piano piece with your toes. Wouldn't that be something? Probably is. Okay, and then start to speed it up like you're sending a super urgent text message to your emergency contact. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, OMG. And stop. Release your hands, move the block, hug your knees back in. And you're gonna cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Reach up and grab either your big toes, your outer feet, or your outer ankles with your hands. So you're in a reclined, a supine Gomukhasana. And can you use your arms to pull your feet wider? Can you use your imagination to pull your seat wider? One more breath. And then uncross your legs, hug your knees back in. And then we'll cross the left thigh over your right thigh. Reach up and grab the big toes, the outer feet, or the outer ankles. And then again, Use your hands, your capacity, your ability to help your legs, your stability. Use your imagination to widen through your sit bones, widen through your hip bones, spread across your sacrum, watery bowl of your pelvis. And one more breath. And then let that go. Hug your knees back in one more time. Give them a squeeze. And then extend your legs forward into Shavasana. Feel free to keep your knees bent. Put your feet down, knock your knees in together. And then we'll take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, deep breath in. Sigh. And once more, fill up. Full empty out. And then seal your lips. Let go of the conscious control of your breath. Let go of the effort in your body. Let yourself be open and receptive. So you let go of the effort to receive the grace. I'm going to let you enjoy however long you'd like to spend in your Shavasana, and go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you so much for sharing yourself, your space and time with me this afternoon/evening, depending on where you are. Namaste.